I'm World Cup champion Megan Klingenberg. Wondering who you should root for at the FIFA Women's World Cup? I'm hosting a new podcast, My New Favorite Futbolista, where I will introduce you to soccer's brightest stars and the causes they are championing. From the 22-year-old American phenom speaking out about student-athlete mental health,
I try to just approach everything with you don't know what someone's going through,
to the U.S. defender who travels to tournaments with her young son.
Am I ever gonna be able to run for 5 minutes straight?
Check out My New Favorite Futbolista wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is Rebound Revolution, a not-so-basketball podcast bringing you the revolutionary on and off the court happening in the WNBA. From queer baddies to history to ones to watch, join me, Money, as we get into it all. Welcome to Out of Bounds, where I bring you a little something extra from the recent WNBA news. We'll get into game recaps, some light gossip, like which exes are playing against each other, iconic style moments, and so much more. One thing we know about the W is that the players be playing as much off the court as they do on the court. So thankfully, we always have some new moments and gossip to bring you. Let's start inbounds with some recaps and recent iconic moments on the court. Well, I got to make it to the Liberty home opener at the Barclays Center, and they were playing my team, the Indiana Fever. I am not ashamed that I root for the Fever, but sadly, we did not take that. We did not take that win. The Liberty were so good. I think it was Breanna Stewart's highest scoring game of her career. I think she had something like 45 points, history-making home opener for the Liberty. The crowd was huge. They were all already chanting MVP for Breanna Stewart, even though it was the home opener. It's a little too soon, y'all. A little too soon. Let's wait until a little later in the season. But I still think that the Fever are going to get it together sometime this season. They got Aaliyah Boston, and not for nothing, she played her little heart out, and she had 15 points. She had a whole bunch of rebounds. She did not back down when Jonquel Jones and those long arms were in her face. I'm rooting for Aaliyah, and I'm always rooting for NaLyssa Smith. She is just a talent, and I love to see a big girl who can score from anywhere on the floor and who don't ever play with no kind of fear. Not to mention the hair. Oh, yes, the hair looks good, okay? Both NaLyssa and Aaliyah, just iconic hairstyles. I didn't get to catch many more of the season opener games, but y'all let me know if y'all got to go to any home openers that y'all thought were good. Okay, now let's get back out of bounds, where we belong, and leave the stats and the rebounds and all that to the professionals, okay? All right, so let's talk WNBA Twitter shenanigans. In the past week, Alexis Morris, LSU star, who was drafted to the Connecticut Sun this year, but also got cut after training camp, she lit WNBA Twitter on fire in some since deleted tweets, okay? Alexis tweeted, "If we can't make roster spots for rookies, cut the vets," with the melting face emoji, which I just thought was very petty. Why you gotta add the emoji? She continued with a second tweet. "The vets gotta know when to cut the net and pass the torch, bro." And from there, it was just OGs versus newbies, rookies versus vets. It was a frenzy on Twitter about these tweets. Now, what I will say is that I think Alexis has a point, but her target was wrong. There's absolutely no excuse for why a first-round draft pick rookie year can't make a roster. right? Like, I think she's totally right on that. There needs to be more spaces for rookies. There also needs to be more opportunities for rookies to develop. So not just playing the first year, but past that. But the target is not the vets, especially when you got vets who are still playing like top tier basketball. The target should be the workplace, right? It's like not your coworkers, it's the workplace. The league just has to expand. The talent is too good. There's too many rookies that absolutely need the opportunity to play professionally. So, good point, but the target is off, okay? The problem is only having 144 spots. And if Alexis Morris's tweets weren't enough to keep WNBA Twitter buzzing, the Las Vegas Aces news came out that Becky Hammon would be suspended due to the investigation sparked after what happened with De'Arica Hamby last season, who is now a Spark. So you see what I did there? So the word on the Twitter streets is Becky was suspended because of some things that she said via text and in person to De'Arica about her being pregnant, which is totally against the rules, right? It's a women and gender diverse league. You can't be telling people they can't play or won't have their contract renewed because of pregnancy. It's totally against the rules. And also, I don't know if folks remember this, but over the off season, there were also whispers that certain players were getting more benefits, maybe money beyond the salary cap, because they didn't have kids. I don't know if anybody remembers those whispers from WNBA Twitter in the offseason. So now I'm wondering, was this too an Aces thing? I don't know. But the WNBA put out an official statement about the findings of the investigation. The Aces were fined and Becky was suspended for 2 games. I mean, that didn't stop the Aces from dominating at the open of their season, but indeed. And I really hope that De'Arica feels some kind of like a victory in that win, because she was literally on the cover of W Slam for being like super mom, right? She still plays incredible basketball with kids. So yeah, being a mom should not stop your opportunities from making a roster or getting the same benefits that your teammates get. Now, if you know something that you think is out of bounds worthy, let me know by emailing the show at hello@editaudio.io. Woo, that email address. Don't worry, if y'all didn't catch it, it's going to be in the show notes. But send me something you think is out of bounds and I'll shout it out on the show. Rebound Revolution is an Edit Audio original podcast created in collaboration with The Cube. I'm your host, Money McEachern, and this episode was produced by Melissa Houghton, Mick Finnegan, and me. It was edited, mixed, and mastered by Mick Finnegan. Our supervising producer is Anna Deshawn. Our executive producer is Steph Colburn. Thank you to Kathleen Speckert and the whole Edit Audio team.